Yo, see red. All right. Now, today is graphing day 3, and it's really nothing new. We're just combining our trig function graphs now to make them a little more complicated. So let's look at our first example. I have y equals -3 times the cosine of 2 times the quantity x minus pi over 2 minus 1. All right, so we got a lot of noise happening here, but no, we can't handle. Excuse me. So my period. All right, well, my period is 2 pi over my b value, which is 2. So my period is 1 pi. Now my interval is my period divided by 4. So pi over 4 is my interval. My amplitude is my lead coefficient, which in this case is 3. All right, then we have my vertical shift. My vertical shift is what's in back here. So that's -1. So that means I'm going 1 down off of my original graph. And my horizontal shift is opposite inside. So this is plus pi over 2. All right, so that means I'm going right. We're not sure how much yet, or we are, but let's take a look at our graph and our scale before we make that decision. So there's my y-axis. There's my x-axis. I have a period of pi and an interval of pi over 4. All right, which means this is 1/2 pi and 3/4 pi. Okay, 1/4, 1/2, 3/4, 1. All right, so that was a pretty nice interval to work with there. And then negative pi over 4, and don't forget about this guy. All right, my amplitude is 3. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And my vertical shift is -1. So I'm going to put 1 more there because I know I'm going to have to go down, foreseeing the future. All right, I have a negative cosine graph. Negative cosine graph. So that tells me I start at -3. I'm going to go up, up, 0, back home. And then the other direction. Up, up, 0, back home. All right, and there's my sketch, my dashed line. Dash. Okay, now my vertical shift we said is down 1, and my horizontal shift is pi over 2. So in this case, pi over 2, all right, is how many intervals? All right, so 1/2 pi is 1, 2, really, right? So I'm going down 1 over to the right 2, all right, because pi over 4 is my interval, so pi over 2 is 2 of those. So down 1 over 2 for each interval, for each dot. So down 1 over 2. 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 My graph stops there, but I got to fill in over here. So here we're kind of going up 1 over 1. So up 1 over 1. Up 1 over 1. Nope, this one's up 1 more. Sorry, didn't mean to erase you there. But this one's going from here to up, all the way up to here. All right, you see how that works? So we're just continuing our pattern. So here is my graph. So now we're just combining what we've done. We did vertical shifts, we did horizontal shifts, now we're putting it all together into one problem. So now you're going down and over instead of just one or the other. That's it. All right, let's try one more. Now this one, I'm going to show you a more difficult situation here. I probably wouldn't do this to you on a test, but let's expose you to it so you know what's up. Now, you may have seen some of these on your homework, but we were only interested in finding the period and interval. So we were concerned about this lead coefficient. Now, we need to write it in the form that we're accustomed to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to factor out this 4. All right, so watch. So I'm going to go y equals -2 times the sign, and I'm factoring out a 4. So that leaves me with x. Now, to get this piece, okay, we're going to take pi over 2 and just chop it into 4. Right? Think of it if you had 2x plus 8. You wanted to take a GCF of 2, you go 8 divided by 2 gave you 4. So here I'm going pi divided by 2 divided by 4 gives me pi over 8 plus 1. So this is the equation we're going to be working with. Alright, so again, just exposing that to you, a little challenge. So now when we set everything up, we have my period, which is 2 pi over my b value, which is 4. So that gives me pi over 2. My interval is pi over 2 divided by 4, which gives me pi over 8. My amplitude is 2. And then we have our shifts. So my horizontal shift, okay, is the opposite of inside, so negative pi over 8. Negative pi over 8. And then my vertical shift is 1. Right? Because in back here we have 1, negative pi over 8. So let's draw my axes. Alright, so we have a period of pi over 2 and an interval of pi over 8. So now, this one's not as easy as the last one. Think about it. This is 1/2 pi. So how do I write 1/2 pi over 8? Well, 4 pi over 8, right? So I have 1 pi over 8, 2 pi over 8, 3 pi over 8. 2 pi over 8 reduces to pi over 4, and then 3 pi over 8 stays home. Alright, so that's how I broke up that one. Let's get that noise out of there. And do our negative pi over 2, negative pi over 8, negative pi over 4, negative 3 pi over 8. Okay, it's a sine graph with an amplitude of 2. So my amplitude is 2, vertical shift of 1, so I'm putting 1 more, amplitude of 2. So sine starts at 0. Now it's a negative sign, so I'm going to go down first, then back to 0, then up, back to 0, and then the opposite direction over here. So up, back to 0, negative, back home. So there's my graph. Okay, now my horizontal shift is negative pi over 8. So that means I'm going left 1 unit, right? Because pi over 8 is my interval. So that worked out nice. Okay, in vertical shift, we're going up 1. So up 1, left 1. So up 1, left, over 1. So up 1, left 1. So each piece is going up 1 to the left 1. Up 1 to the left 1. Up 1 to the left 1. And work your way through your graph. And be sure to continue your pattern. So this guy would be down here to here. So there's your final graph. Alright, so that's it. Brought the noise a little more difficult examples, but we're really just combining 2 things we already learned. Nothing new. Make sure you get those worksheets done by Thursday. See you in the morning.